Right, hello and welcome back to the channel. Bit of an unfortunate video, but we're here. Got my GTI. Now, unfortunately, I had a bit of an event go on the weekend, and the car decided to play up. So, engine mount's gone and collapsed, and then it's eaten through a coolant pipe down the bottom. And the aux belt is starting to split, as you can see there. So hopefully today's video, all the parts here. I've got a Vibrotechnix mount, coolant, new pipe and a new belt to go on. So I'll be trying my best to film everything as best as I can. Might do a little time lapse if I can set a tripod up. So yeah, ready for it. Just come back from work, so no time at the present, and well, it doesn't look like it's gonna rain, but we'll give it a go. So jack the car up and then come back to it when it's up in the air and have a look from underneath. I'm gonna need to take off the expansion tank catch can, take it out the way so I can gain access to that mount, swap that mount over, and then start with fixing the coolant issues here to go. So get the car up in the air and go from there. Right, got the car up in the air. Need to take the bottom under tray off so I can gain access to jack the engine up while I'm taking the mount off, so it doesn't just fall. And then you can start taking stuff off from the top. Take the coolant reservoir off and the catch can. How I'd love to have a ramp right now. It'd make life so much easier, but unfortunately having to do it on the drive. So see how we get on. Right, we've got that cover off. That'll give us access to that pipe there and to jack up the engine. I'm going to try and do it as far as I can over, because it's going to be a bit weak in the middle. So put it on the edge here. I've got a bit of block wood, so hopefully that does the job. But we'll find out. Fingers crossed. Doesn't look great, I'll be honest. The car is on an angle, which doesn't help. Unless I jack it up like that. We'll see, we'll figure it out. Do a bit of playing around. Don't want to damage that sensor. So, we'll see. Right, that's under tension. So go to the top, start taking some stuff off. Hopefully that's not too much of a pain to get at. I do have some hose clamp pliers, but as I said, the engine is quite literally, or the aircon is pushed right up against it, as you can see. Well, that's where the belt's been eaten through, and then the plastic's just gone. So yeah, we'll come to that when we get to it. So on the top, got a connector. Trying to do this with no extra hands. There we go. Just push that tab down. Got a plug here. I think you just push that out, and yeah, it comes up. Don't want to undo any of these. So let's screwdriver in there. There we go, there's one, and there's two. Okay, push that out of the way. Leave that hanging around somewhere. Need to take this catch can off, so it does use the bolts down the bottom for the engine mount. Should be relatively simple. Just 2 bolts there, bolt there, bolt there, and then a little stud on the other side. Do have to reuse these bolts unfortunately on that one. Should have ordered new, but didn't know if it would come with new mounts or not, new bolts even. So get the catch can off. I think that's an Allen key, and then I can't remember what size that is, but yeah, and that looks like a 13 or so. Get that now and then go from there. So that's bolts for the mount are 16. That's going to be 18, maybe 19 mil. You can tell I'm quite unfit, so I'm struggling. Just a bit of work, so it doesn't help. That's too big. Possibly a 5mm Allen key. Cautious of time because I do also have the subframe to try and strip down. I did start that, so you'll see that in a future video. Yeah, so this bolt is a 5mm Allen key. So this is part of the racing line kit. Come quite in handy. Very small bolts in there. Swap that round. So the bolts for the engine mount to actual bracket are an 18. So I might take those off first, take the slack off, and then start undoing all this. Oh, right. Actually, I'll take that catch can off first. If anyone doesn't have any electrical stuff, I would highly recommend the Milwaukee stuff. I've got a couple of items. So it's like the M12 stuff. I am looking at getting a big 1/2-inch gun because I've got quite a lot to do underneath. Make life hella easier. And again, I've got the rated battery, so it does make life a bit easier. So that's the catch can out of the way. So we've got space now to take the rest of that off. I think that's a 13mm, and great, that's the one I don't have. Should be somewhere. Yeah, there we go. I don't know if this is on or off, but we'll find out. Yeah, so it's 13. Right, that's going on. Let's just swap that over. That off. Don't damage my light. Right, that's off. So that was a 13. Now I've got 2 18s. And the other 16. Take that off. So that engine mount on this side is now loose. So get the 18 on that. And then try and figure out a way. Okay, that's going to need cracking off. Oh, apologies. Not the best at filming, so I'm trying my best to figure it out as I go along. See if these do it. One sort of breaker bar and one smallish ratchet. So let's see. I imagine these are quite tight. Yep. bolts going. There we go, cool. So that's one cracked off, I can get that with the gun. Now, move that out the way. And again. Oh, that's tight, as they should be. Right. So, brilliant, at least it dropped all the way through. Let's grab that. Oh. Let's connect that up. One. Yeah, so as you can see, it is starting to drop. Oh shit. Ugh. Right, we're okay. Just seemed to jump a bit. Don't know what that was. Probably the jocks. Yeah. So, try and get this going. Just very worried about. Right, there we go. I want to do this as quick as I can. Right. We'll check those jacks in a minute because I do not like jacking the car up on stands and leaving it for ages. So there's the mount. Try and figure out what's up with that in a minute. I'll have to cut that off and go from there. Do have snips somewhere, I think. Maybe. Hopefully. Don't know if these are going to be good. Nope. 2.5 blades somewhere. Right, I'll be back in a second. Got that zip tie, cable tie, whatever you want to call it, off. Try and get this mount back in. That's going to need to go on there, so I'll do that first. So it doesn't go all over the place. Here's a new bolt on the other side, actually. Let's just double check that it is in the right area. Does look like it needs to move forward a slight bit. Don't want to drop anything, because that will go very wrong. Right, let's try this now. There you go, threads are started, so that's alright. And then get that small bolt through there. So that's going. Got to admit, it does look pretty good. Put them bolts back in, start threading them in. Oh, I'm going to have to put that back on there though. So I'll do that now actually. There we go. So, started those by hand. Start. Here's a bit of a nightmare. This is on an angle, so I'll try and get it levelled off if I can. I'll have to find a torque setting if I can for these. I'll just do it by hand. Right, there we go. I'll finish off those by hand. Oh, I'm getting covered in coolant. This is not nice. Right. So. Try and get that little Allen key on there. Oh, This is the annoying thing of trying to film and work on this at the same time. It's not the easiest thing to do. This is why people have cameramen. Right. Let's tighten that up. So that's not going to go anywhere. So I'll tighten that up at the back. And move that out the way again. Is that going to be the same size? Nope. Brilliant. So that'll be 17. That coolant bottle. They're tight. Grab that before it falls down. And just quickly tighten everything up, and then okay, that's tight. Right. Try and loosen. Right. Now, unfortunately, that engine does need to move a bit, so might have to ask for some assistance with this. So I'll try loosen it off at that bracket there, move the engine back to where it should be, and then go from there. So made a bit of progress off camera. Engine mount's now in. It's now not touching that coolant pipe down there. However, I had to take the lower engine mount, sort of dog bone or whatever you call it, torque arm off, and come to realise that it's bent and looks like it's snapped, and looks like the bush has been moving. So I feel like that hasn't helped with what's gone on. So I need to figure out what to do with this. Whether I get a new one, which I'm probably gonna have to, but needed the car back sort of as soon as possible. So let's put a spanner in the works. But just trying to get that coolant pipe off now underneath. I can sort everything out, sort of get as much done as I can, and then yeah, get it all built up, get it all back together, get all coolant in it, and then figure out what to do with that lower arm. If it goes back in and it's alright, then I can order one and fit it when that comes. Just worried about that coming out, but if it's tightened up properly, then I don't think it should be too much of an issue. But yeah, I'll get onto that coolant pipe now. Hopefully it doesn't cause me too many issues. It's just getting covered in coolant current moment. That's all. As you can see, there's more coming out of it still, which is not great, because I need to try and get under there. Try and do it from the other side if I can. Again, still cool everywhere. Yeah, I can just see it there. So take that off, and then yeah, try and get that clamp off up there. Shit, that's in a really awkward place. Great. What I might do is might take that off, bring it down, because then I can gain access to it, but I've got to take that sensor off. So try and do it from up here. If not, I'll have to go up the top. Yeah, gonna have to do it from the top. Looks like. Right, I'll need to do this properly because I don't want to break the sensor. So I'll be back in a second once I've got that sensor off, and yeah. Right, it's been a while and things haven't gone well. That job is a lot harder than I anticipated originally. I have had to take most of the front end off. I've had to take headlights off, everything. I've had to take the front crash bar off. So I'll show you. So quite literally everything is off. It is just held on currently by all coolant pipes. So as you can see, here is the coolant pipe, flange, whatever you want to call it, that needs replacing. Now I did try and take the alternator off, that hasn't gone well. There's no movement in it at all, so I've had to resort to taking the front end off. And yeah, I've had a nightmare trying to line the engine mount up because the engine wasn't in place, so I had to try and move it myself with a pry bar and then tying it up, and that was not a nice job, but we're getting there slowly. It's just taking forever. Yeah, so we're getting there. It's just taken a lot longer than I anticipated. I thought, oh yeah, it'd be pretty straightforward, but it's not. It's nowhere near straightforward at all. Typical Volkswagen really, but yeah, starting to get there. It's just I didn't expect all this. Kind of wish I put an uprated radiator while I'm here, because you know I've got everything off pretty much, but possibly can do that at some point because I've got a splitter to put on as well. So yeah, so I'm running out of time unfortunately, so I'll try and update as much as I can as I'm going along. Was trying to do sort of as much as I can, but unfortunately with only having two pairs of hands, it is a little bit difficult trying to take stuff off and record at the same time. So get that replaced, get all the pipes on, get the new belt on, and then jobs are good and can build it back up and see how it goes. Right, improvements are being made. We've got the front crash bar on, got everything bolted up on the side, horns back in, same again on the other side, horns back in. So now I've got to put headlights in, connect the bonnet latch up. Thankfully everything looks alright. Plug that sensor back in, sensor's back in, that's all okay. Air intake's back on. Yeah, so headlights, headlight brackets, bumper, I think. Yeah, bumper, grille, and then I can put everything back on the top, make sure everything is tight with the mount, and then need to figure out what I'm doing with that, whether I order one or put the standard one back on. So I do have it somewhere, just can't remember where it is. But yeah, I had a bit of a nightmare, I had a bit of a meltdown thinking, shit, I don't know what I'm doing, don't know what to take off, but stuck at it. Yeah, so it's a bit of a tedious job and a bit of a shit job, but get there in the end. Yeah, so adaptive cruise control, just back on. Put them clips in like that. Plugs are in. I think that's the outside temperature sensor. Did want to cut this off because I've got a splitter to go on, and this is where it bolts to, but can do that when I'm fitting that splitter. So I'm picking that up on the 9th of March off someone I know. So that'll be a big difference to the car. So carry on, smash it out, because I'm worried I'm going to run out of daylight because the sun's going down pretty early still. So yeah, I best crack on, and I'll catch up with you at the next point where I can stop and show you where I've got up to. Right, getting to the end of this now. Well, I say getting to the end of this. Still need to make sure everything runs properly, get it up to temperature. Yeah, so headlights back in, bolted back up. Do need to put the screen wash back in. Again, other headlights bolted back up. Have topped a bit of coolant up. We'll need to let that run through the system and get all the air bubbles out. That'll take a couple of minutes. Yeah, need to put the bumper back on. I've checked everything's tight. Put that expansion tank back on. Catch can is in and all tight. Little coolant pipes back on. Apart from that, so I'll put that back on. That just slots in there, and that slots back in. Yeah, all the horns plug back in. Again, yeah, everything's plugged back in. Horn again. Need to obviously connect the washers up for the front, main bumper loom, and the cornering lights, as you can see there, and on the other side. And then there's a grill on underneath. On the tray, and then yeah, put the battery back on, start it up, tighten that alternator back up at the bottom. So I did that while the front end was off, and then yeah, see how we get on. We're nearly there. I can see the finish line ahead, and thankfully it's still light outside, so I can see what I'm doing. So yeah, it's not been great, I'll be honest. I think I found out why that's gone. It's because if it's not going to have much movement side to side, because that's not what it's made for. It's made for the movement front and back. So I think with the engine mount going, it's put loads of movement side to side. Because I've had the same issue with the gearbox mount that went due to someone working on my car, and they've I don't know what they've done. They've tightened the bolts up incorrectly, and the bolts have snapped for the gearbox mount. That happened a couple of months ago. So it's been alright ever since, but now that side's weakened, I guess, with the new mount on, and it's been on that side continuously. So yeah, put the bumper back on, put everything back together, run it up, and then we'll see how we get on. Fingers crossed it all works alright and nothing goes majorly wrong. Touch wood. So you join me back a couple of days later. Had a bit of a nightmare trying to sort this car out. As you've seen in the last couple of clips, I was trying to sort the engine mount issue and coolant issue. So, pop the bonnet and show you where we got up to and left off. So last you were seeing the whole front end of the car was off. So now that pipe has been replaced and the engine mount, as you can see, is in, and now the car is sorted. So I had a bit of a nightmare, had to hire an engine crane, as the last issue I was having is I couldn't line the engine up. So that was a massive issue. Everything was built back up, nothing to line up in place, so I had to hire an engine crane, take the weight off the engine, take off all the bolts, gearbox side and engine side. So I had to take the whole intake system off, as the gearbox mount is pretty much under everything. Now the only issue I'm having is it seems to be a EPC light comes on, which I'm not sure whether this is something just completely unrelated, but it seems to happen ever since I've sort of took apart everything. So I have to see what's going on with that. But yeah, on a whole, everything's back together, and I'm quite surprised with how good this looks. So it's like a hardened bush, same as the gearbox side, which failed a couple of months ago. So standard mount underneath is back on, and the new mount at the top is on. So next plans for this is to carry out a suspension refresh. I've got loads of parts lying around. I do have something to show you, which will be coming in the next couple of videos. So I will head over to the other car on the channel that will be coming soon. Oh, wrong button. So did try and film some of this. So got a subframe that's been all powder coated. Again, rear arm's been powder coated. So this is an idea of the extent I'm trying to go through. I've got loads of new bushes and everything. So need to get this sorted at some point. I am just waiting on one more thing to arrive, and I will need to get all new bolts for everything as I'm completely redoing everything. And again, that's another little idea of what's to come. So yeah, looking forward to getting that sorted. A little hint to this project, which is just currently being left as I'm trying to get the Golf on the road. So yeah, there's a lot to do and not a lot of time or money. So yeah, try and get the videos keep coming a little bit more. Trying to get a bit more time on my hands to sort of do everything. But yeah, see you guys in the next one.